So the other day I was on a flight from Frankfurt to the UK, and on that same flight was Frank Gambale and the rest of his band as well. Now, Frank is one of those guitarists who's way up there in terms of skill and ability. Now, and I didn't actually get to chat to him or anything like that, but I did find myself thinking about talent, because he's a hugely talented guitarist. And what was talent? When people talk about a talented guitarist or a talented anything, really, what are you talking about? And when I think about talent, it's not really one thing. It's a whole collection of things that add together to contribute to your ability to do something. And there are kind of three things, the three areas. There's your mental traits or mental skills, there's physical abilities or physical traits, and then there's the environment as well. And when you're talking about talent, you're really talking about the individual's mental and physical traits and abilities, you're discounting environment. And really the extent to which you're talented at the thing that you're working on is based on the number of these traits that are positively contributing to it. And then the more I thought about it, the more I realised there are kinds of two types. There's the direct traits, the primary traits that directly affect your ability to do something. So if you're a guitarist, they're going to be for example, left hand, right hand control and synchronization, or fine motor skills. Those are direct traits that will affect how good you are as a guitarist, or give you that basic building blocks in order to develop. And then there are kind of secondary traits which contribute, but not in a direct way. And so when I think about my own talents as a guitarist, the kinds of primary traits that I've got are things like the fact that I've got big hands. I can make big stretches on the guitar neck. The other one I used to think about was the fact that I'm left-handed, but I play the guitar right-handed, and that puts my left hand on the neck, which I always thought was an advantage for me. But I never really saw myself as having particularly good left-hand, right-hand coordination. I've always thought of myself as being clumsy. Same with fine motor skills as well. I've never been a particularly neat handwriter. My writing's terrible, to be honest with you. But then the secondary traits, I realised for me, the secondary traits are the one that's had the biggest effect on me as a guitarist. And the two in particular that I thought about was, firstly, that I have a natural curiosity. I have a natural inclination to experiment with anything that I do, actually. And so you can see that with a lot of my videos. A lot of my videos are coming at playing the guitar from left field, if you like, or they're me working on different techniques that you wouldn't normally think about. I like to experiment and apply those to the guitar. And the other secondary trait, if you like, is that I can be really kind of obsessive about things that interest me. When I get a bee in my bonnet, as they say, I won't leave it alone. So I'm the kind of person who can pick up a guitar, and if a particular technique or something interests me, then I'll stay and I'll work on it for hours at an end. And it was interesting, I saw a video with Rick Graham not so long ago, and he was talking about the amount of practice that he put in, certainly in the early days when he was learning to play the guitar. And he described how he would, for a number of years, he was playing at least 10 hours a day, every day. And you can't do that if you don't have that kind of obsessive tendency that keeps you driven and keeps you focused on that one single outcome. And that's something I've got as well. And I also thought it was interesting that I think these secondary traits are probably the dominant thing in my guitar playing, the dominant thing that's affected me as a guitarist. So, for example, if you think about the fact, I said earlier, I'm left-handed, my left hand is on the neck. But interestingly, the thing most people want to know about me or are most interested in is my right hand skills, how I pick the guitar. And this is my weakest hand. And really, I've developed these right-hand skills, the fingerstyle technique, because of my natural curiosity, because of my interest in experimentation, and because of that obsessive side of my personality. That's the thing that's forced me to develop my right-hand technique, even though it's my weakest hand. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And it's also kind of interesting when people ask you whether you can predict whether some young guy is going to be a really good guitarist or not. It's really tough, because you really don't know what traits are going to combine in order to turn this person into something beyond an average guitarist and take them to that next step. It can be anything. It's a whole stack of things that contribute to this, some of which you can see, some of which are primary and obvious, but there's this whole swathe of sort of secondary traits that also contribute to a skill, which are the things that can make a huge difference as well. Anyway, that's what I was thinking about on that flight. Hopefully that was interesting to you. I'd be interested to hear what you think about talent as well, what you think makes a talented person, or what traits you have that you think has taken you beyond the ordinary level. But anyway, let's chat next time. Goodbye.